Escalation today as a Russian warplane was shot down by the Turks in disputed circumstances. While in Washington, President Obama pledged American solidarity to French President Hollande as the two leaders discussed efforts to unite a global coalition to fight the Islamic State, 10 days after the attacks in Paris. This fiery streak hurtling earthward is a Russian Sukhoi fighter jet shot down by Turkish warplanes. Turkey said the jet entered its airspace and ignored multiple calls to leave. But Russia rejected those claims and said the jet was operating over Syrian airspace amid its bombing campaign. The incident occurred near Turkey's southernmost border. Rebel groups on the ground said the plane crashed close to the Syrian town of Yamadi. Russia's military said that both pilots ejected and confirmed one was killed. The fate of the second pilot remained unclear. Russian officials said he was still missing. But a commander of a rebel group in Syria said they killed both pilots.
Our comrades opened fire into the air. We all did. They died in the air.
A Russian soldier aboard a helicopter was also killed during a search and rescue operation. One Russian chopper was brought down by Syrian rebel fire. This video apparently shows its destruction, using an anti-tank missile supplied to some Syrian rebel groups by the United States. The shootdown led to immediate and harsh words. Russian President Vladimir Putin warned of serious consequences in denouncing the Turks.
Today's loss is a stab in the back delivered to us by accomplices of terrorists. I cannot qualify what happened today as anything else. Our pilots and our plane in no way threatened Turkish Republic.
Later, Russia's foreign minister Sergei Lavrov canceled a scheduled visit to Turkey and said Russian citizens should avoid traveling to the country. But in Ankara, Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan said his country's actions were justified.
We are feeling distressed, but the actions were fully in line with Turkey's rules for engagement that have been declared before. Turkey does not harbor enmity towards its neighbors.
In Brussels, NATO convened an emergency meeting at the request of Turkey, a NATO member state. Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg said he supports Turkey, but the facts must emerge.
This is a situation which calls on that we all are prudent and that we all contribute to de-escalating the situation.
At the White House, President Obama spoke after meeting with French President François Hollande on efforts to ramp up the U.S.-led coalition's campaign against Islamic State. He said Turkey had a right to defend its airspace.
I do think that this points to an ongoing problem with the Russian operations in the sense that they are operating very close to a Turkish border and they are going after moderate opposition that are supported by not only Turkey, but a wide range of countries.
The president again said Russia could work with the coalition if it decides only to target the Islamic State. But as it stands, Mr. Obama said Russia had made a more limited choice.
Russia right now is a coalition of two, Iran and Russia, supporting Assad.
Meanwhile, Hollande said France would redouble its efforts to fight ISIS, but he said that effort will only go so far.
France will not intervene militarily on the ground. It is for the local forces to do so.
Hollande will be in Moscow Thursday to meet with Putin. We'll come back to look at the consequences of the shoot-down of the Russian plane after the news summary. French prosecutors announced today the alleged mastermind of the Paris attacks likely had plans for another suicide bombing in the city's business district. Abdelhamid Abaoud, who died in a police raid last week, also moved actively from crime scene to crime scene in Paris just hours after the carnage.
En outre, la géolocalisation de la ligne
The geolocation of the suspected phone line of Abdelhamid Abaoud shows that he was present near the attack sites, and notably near the Bataclan concert hall. This makes us think that he returned to the crime scenes after the attacks on the cafes and restaurants, and while the anti-terror brigade was still working at the Bataclan.
Jawad Ben Daoud, the man who allegedly housed the ringleader and at least 2 others, was charged today in connection with the attacks. He claims he didn't know that they were terrorists. Meanwhile, in Brussels, Belgium, a terror alert extended into a 4th day. Soldiers patrolled the streets and the subway remained closed. Tunisia is under a state of emergency tonight after a terrorist attack on a bus filled with presidential guards killed at least 12 people. The explosion happened along a main avenue in the capital city, Tunis. There were reports that it was caused by a bomber who detonated an explosive device inside the bus. 10 days ago, authorities increased security levels and deployed extra forces across the capital.